All right, queens, if you're trying to drop weight, lean out, and feel more confident before this summer starts, you might want to stick around and watch the rest of this video. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you 7 simple but super powerful tips to help you lose 10 plus pounds before the summer starts. So without further ado, let's get right into today's video. All right, tip number 1, drink more water. I'm sure you have heard this 1,000, a million times to drink more water, but little do we know, women are so dehydrated and don't even know it. You could be feeling super tired, you could be feeling super sluggish, just low energy, always craving something, and is because you're not drinking enough water. So, with drinking more water, again, it's going to help you control those cravings, boost that energy, and it's just going to make you feel more full. So, you're not having those cravings all throughout the day. So, to combat this issue that most women struggle with, to drink more water, I always recommend to drink half of your body weight in water in ounces, if that makes sense. So, what you're going to do is, for example, if you weigh maybe 180 pounds, you're going to cut that in half, which is 90, and that's how many ounces of water that you're going to drink. Another great tip is to start drinking water first thing in the morning before you touch your coffee, before you touch your caffeine, before you touch your matcha, your chai, whatever you have before water. Nix that. Just start drinking water first thing in the morning. That is going to make a big difference in you increasing your water intake throughout the day. All right, tip number 2 is you're going to want to exercise between 40 to 45 minutes a day. So, ladies, understand this. Movement is going to be super key. So, when you find something that you like, you're going to have to do it consistently. You might have to try a few things, try out stuff, especially if you're a beginner, because if you're not doing it consistently, you are not going to see the results that you want. Okay. You're not going to see the results that you want. A 30-day challenge, a 60-day challenge, a 90-day challenge, they're all cool. Now, I will say that you can see amazing results within 30 days, within 60 days, within 90 days, 6-week challenge, whatever the case is. I offer those as well. But will you see your dream body? No. Will you have learned the habits that you need to maintain those changes that you've made in your body? Probably not, because you haven't had enough time under the bar to learn those habits, to put your body through that kind of quote unquote stress, also to put your mental toughness to the test. You haven't had a lengthy amount of time. So you really find out who you become when you're disciplined and structured. You really find out those things. You're going to want to make sure that you find something that you like, whether it be strength training, yoga, running, CrossFit, whatever the case is. If you like it, stick with it consistently. Also, if you're not already, strength training is going to be liquid gold for toning your body, building the muscle, leaning out, losing weight. You're going to want to incorporate strength training into your routine. You cannot just do cardio and call it quits. You have to incorporate strength training, because that is where you're going to see the nice lean physique that you essentially dream of. Even with me being pregnant, I still strength train because it still helps my body and prepare for labor and then postpartum and recovery. It's going to help hopefully give me an easier labor and delivery. So it's beneficial for literally anybody. It's not just to be a bodybuilder, it's for amazing benefits outside of just your physique, just to live a healthier life. So, definitely, if you haven't already, you need to be incorporating strength training into your workouts. So, to kind of combat this or to make this fit into your routine, I always recommend working out in the morning. But if you can't work out in the morning, just get it in where you can. Fit in your workouts where you can fit it in. I also recommend working out between 4 to 5 times a week, including your strength training, not just your cardio, not just the yoga, the running, whatever the case is. It also needs to be your strength training 4 to 5 times a week. Now, I say working out in the morning because it boosts your focus, it boosts your metabolism, and you kind of just set the tone for the day first thing in the morning. You have more focus, more energy. Some people say, "Oh, I don't have energy first thing in the morning." Surprisingly, you feel in a much better mood right after you finish your workout, even if you didn't want to get up that morning. Even as a coach, and I can attest, there's so many coaches on all social media platforms that probably will tell you that when you don't want to work out, you still feel amazing. Nobody regrets working out. Obviously, unless you get injured, but even then, nobody ever regrets working out after the fact. Nobody ever regrets it. So, working out, even if it's in the morning, you're always going to feel a little bit better. You're going to get a jump start on your day. So, I recommend the morning. I'm a morning girly anyways, but if you're not, like I said, just get it in where you can because it is going to make all the difference. So, let's move on to number 3. Okay, so from now and summertime, you're going to want to prioritize high protein meals. So, with protein, it's going to keep you full way longer. It's going to reduce a lot of those cravings. It is going to preserve your lean muscle mass while you are actively losing weight. So, high protein meals are going to be the way to go from now to summertime, but you're going to want to prioritize protein even after wintertime as well if you want to maintain this weight loss and the physique that you are trying to achieve. So, a tip to kind of combat this, which a lot of women don't know, is that we actually usually fall short having protein. So, I usually recommend to people to try to aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal. You can literally do a quick Google search and look up a bunch of protein options, whether it be meat, whether it be pasta or snacks. You can look up a bunch of protein options. I also offer a free grocery list that has great protein options down in the description box below. And I also offer a high protein fat loss recipe book. That's also down below in the description box. If you guys want to check that out, that's down below. So, with that, some protein meal ideas for you if you're new to it and kind of just don't know where to even start. Some super simple ideas are going to be things like protein smoothies, grilled chicken, grilled salmon, maybe Greek yogurt as like a snack with some berries, or something like tofu if you're vegan or plant-based. So those are just some different kind of like options, but again, you can do a quick Google search or you can use the tools that I have down below, and that will kind of speed up the process a little bit. So, with that being said, let's move on to number 4. All right, y'all. Number 4 is going to be aiming to walk 8 to 10,000 steps a day. Now, the number may sound a little bit daunting, but it's actually a little bit easier than you think. So, walking is actually a super underrated tool and form of exercise for fat loss and weight loss. So, making sure that you're walking these amount of steps daily is going to accelerate your progress in a very big way. So, the great thing about walking is that obviously it's low impact. Anybody can do this, from somebody who's pregnant like me, maybe somebody who's older who is not a bodybuilder. A bodybuilder can do this. Anybody can at least get up and walk. Mostly anybody can just get up and walk if they're trying to lose weight, even if that's for 5 minutes. If you're somebody who is of a larger size and can only last maybe 5 or 10 minutes, it is still a super great way to move your body. And it's also great for your mind as well. When you get outside and walk, you really are just relaxing your mind and kind of just letting thoughts kind of flow or release. It's great for just mental clarity as well. So, a great way to get to 10,000 steps, um, some great ways. You don't have to do all of your 10,000 steps all at once. You can literally break up your steps all throughout the day. A great way to track is having an Apple Watch or some sort of smartwatch. But if you can't, usually smartphones have a tracker on your phone to where you can see how many steps that you're walking a day. If not, you can kind of just make sure that you're walking between 30 minutes to maybe an hour a day, and more than likely you'll get to between 8 to 10,000 steps in a day. So some great ways to kind of fit in your steps, kind of get in your steps. Maybe park further in the parking lot or take the stairs instead of using the escalator or elevator. Also, going for a walk after dinner or after lunch is a great way. If you have a dog, that should entice you more to find different trails to maybe walk on or take a daily walk around the neighborhood for them as well. It's great for the dog as well. And that's usually how I'm able to get most of my steps in, taking my dog for a 20 to maybe a 45-minute walk, depending on the time that we have in a day. So, take some of those things into consideration because all of your steps matter. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next tip. All right, y'all. Number 5 is going to be planning out your meals for the day ahead. So, we don't want to wing any of our meals. You want to make sure that you're planning out, taking intentional time to plan out what you're going to eat for the next day, maybe the next couple of days, or maybe even the next week. Because if you don't plan your stuff out, you will end up in a drive through at 8 o'clock at night or at 7 o'clock in the morning. Depending on what your work schedule looks like, whatever the case is, you will end up in somebody's drive through. So, planning your meals ahead and prepping ahead is going to make a big difference. So sometimes what I like to tell new clients too is to already have your stuff tracked the very next day in my tracking app. It's not my tracking app, but a tracking app which I use, MyFitnessPal, and track all of your food maybe a day before, or if I'm giving a nutrition plan, track that stuff so you see, excuse me, so you can see everything that is you will be consuming over the next day. Now, I will say that for some people, mixing it up is really important because eating the same thing every day can get really boring. But when you have goals, you have to keep it simple and you have to know what you're eating, especially for somebody who doesn't know how to kind of switch things around and still fit within maybe your calories or within the same protein ranges, those kind of things. So, keeping it the same, maybe consistent for like a week or 2 weeks or maybe even a month until you can kind of see, oh, this is how much I should be eating rather than kind of just playing around with it. That makes a big difference. So, planning out your stuff ahead of time and already pre tracking your food in these apps or maybe in a food journal, a food diary is going to make a big difference for you and you reaching your goals just a little bit quicker. So, with that, it takes literally 5 minutes. So, 5 to 10 minutes to kind of pre track. And my biggest help is to plan out my groceries when I'm going grocery shopping to know what I want to eat that's going to fit within my nutrition, my calories, whatever the case is. So, when I go shopping, I know I'm only buying the things that are fitting on my nutrition plan or my meal plan for that time being. So, that makes a big difference too. So, kind of just pre planning ahead, it'll make chef's kiss a big difference. So, with that being said, let's go to number 6. All right, y'all. Tip number 6 is going to be getting between 7 to 9 hours of sleep. So, if you're actually not getting enough sleep, you're going to feel more tired. Obviously, you're going to have more cravings. You're going to feel more stress. And with all of those things combined, along with many other things, you are not going to see any gains. Your body is not resting, your body is not recovering properly, and you're just not going to see the gains. You're not going to see any results because you're not giving your body enough adequate rest to recover. So, with that, your body actually burns a little bit more fat when you are well rested. Even with you sitting down right now, or if you're sitting watching this video, your body is in a state of rest and you actually burn calories. But if you're super tired, your body is not able to do that efficiently. So, making sure that you're getting your rest, making sleep a non negotiable every single day. You need to be properly resting. So, a way to combat this is obviously going to be turning off your phone about an hour before you actually get in the bed. My perfect nighttime routine for me that works is turning off the TV or putting on a very low, maybe thunderstorm or just soft piano like sound, but it being a black screen so there's no light in the room. Trying my best not to be on my phone right before I go to sleep. An hour before, I like to just turn my phone off, turn my computer off, or not off, but just keep it away from me and just not look at my phone. And to have a nice chill environment. So a nice cold room. And I usually spray a little bit of magnesium spray on the bottom of my feet, and I sleep like a literal baby. So, and making this consistent, again, being consistent with your routine every single night, it makes such a big difference. You guys have no idea how big of a difference it makes when you're consistent every single night with it. Your body will start to get those cues. Your body follows a circadian rhythm, so your body gets those cues once it gets dark to kind of relax your body, relax your mind, and make you feel a little bit more drowsy. So you know, okay, this is time for me to go to sleep. So just having a consistent nighttime routine, bedtime routine will make a big difference and give you the proper recovery to help you progress in your fitness journey. Oh, and to add on to it, sleep is a part of natural human behavior. This is not something that is a luxury. You should be sleeping well. Is it a luxury to have all of the bells and whistles of a great nighttime routine? Maybe a little bit, but if you do the simple things like put your phone away, have a nice cold environment, turning the TV off, making sure if you like to listen to some sounds, like if you have the TV or play the sounds on your phone or whatever, because I know your phone is in your room, I'm sure. But it's not a luxury to get good sleep. It's a part of human life. You should be getting pretty decent sleep. So making sleep a priority is going to help you with those gains. So let's move on to the very last tip. All right, last tip of this video is to have accountability. So with this, you are maybe 80 to 90% more likely to reach your goals if you have somebody in your corner. Do you need somebody in your corner? No, I wouldn't say that you need to go to the gym with somebody, or you need to have somebody meal prep for you, or you need to make sure somebody's on top of you to get a good nighttime routine, or you need somebody to be on a walk with you. Like, you don't need a dog to go on walks every single day to get in your steps. You don't need those things. But when you have that, it's easier for you to reach your goals because you have somebody in your corner who's supporting you, who's maybe trying to achieve the same things as you, or who sees that you're trying and is willing to keep you accountable and keep help you keep your word to yourself. So having an accountability partner, whether that be a workout partner, whether that just be a friend, whether that be an actual coach that you have, is going to make a big difference in you reaching your goals before summer starts. Just in general, they're going to help you reach your goals because you have to check in with somebody. And if you're not checking in with anybody, you're checking in with yourself. every single day. And sometimes we don't hold ourselves accountable, but somebody else will hold you accountable if you ask them to. Like a coach is going to make sure that you're being held accountable for maybe not tracking your food, missing workouts, not hitting your steps on a daily basis. And then when you do check ins, like you do check ins with me, hey, what's going on? Like, I haven't seen you. You haven't been working out. What's been going on? Life gets busy. I definitely understand, but that's what we're here for, is to keep you accountable. So at the end of the day, accountability is going to be on your side. They want you to win. Whoever is keeping you accountable wants you to win. So having somebody to keep you accountable is going to be super important. So, with that being said, in closing this video, you don't need the perfect workout routine. You don't need the perfect diet to hit your goals before this summer starts. You just need to be consistent, and there's no perfect time than literally right now to get started. So, if you found this video helpful, all I ask is that you subscribe to my channel, like this video, and drop comments down below if you're going to take any of these tips into consideration and which tip that you like the most. And I hope to see you in the next video. As always, stay pretty fit, fam, and I'll see you in the next one. Mwah.